Joining us now is CBS News Chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer. Bob, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris.
Well, as we've heard and we see, this is an energized, emboldened GOP. Their first order of business is to repeal the president's Health Care Reform Act, which is virtually impossible. So let me ask you, how risky a proposition is this for Republicans incoming now?
Oh, risky or not, it's something they simply have to do. You had all these people that got elected back in November with the Tea Party backing who are demanding that spending be cut and that all of the Obama programs be rolled back. So what you're going to see here, some people will call it just wasting time, others will call it symbolic. You're going to see all these votes, starting with a vote to repeal health care. Now, every Republican in the House knows that no matter what the vote, how the vote comes out, and they'll probably vote to overturn health care, it's going to die in the Senate because the votes just aren't there. But we have to go through all of this, as we always do with every Congress, no matter who's in control of either House, get all of this stuff out of the way, a lot of shouting, hollering, and symbolic votes. And then sometime later in the year, I guess they'll get down to business. But we've got a couple of months before anything really serious is going to happen, I would say.
I want to read you something that Matt Bai wrote in today's New York Times of a quote I want to pull up for you. Once you win, the human tendency is to credit the gravitational force of your own ideas, to assume that you made a more compelling and more substantive case than you actually did. Is that what we may see in the early days from the Republican leadership here, do you think?
Well, I think it's fair to say that no one ever got elected to any office, any federal office in America, who thought he got elected because his opponent was stupid or dumb. They all think it is because they had the best ideas and they ran the best campaign. But the fact is, people get elected for different reasons. The reasons the Republicans were swept into office in the House is fairly simple. The economy was on the blink, and somewhere along the line here, they're going to have to get serious and see what they can do about getting people back to work. Because if this economy continues on in the kind of the dump that it's in right now, you're going to see a lot of these people who just came to Washington getting a ticket to go home. Voters were angry this time, and they're going to be even angrier the next time around if this economy does not get better.
Well, do you see that as being a problem, though, which goes back to my first question about this being a risky move with health care reform being the first item up for bids? The American people, it's all about jobs, it's all about the economy. Don't you feel that they've shown in the past, especially with the midterm elections, that's where they want the focus?
Yes, I think it is. But where the Congress is going to focus is on doing things that can get the people who are here reelected. And you know, they have these promises from people back home. They told them they'll cut spending. Republicans are talking about trying to cut $100 billion out of the budget this year. If they did that, it would require 20% cuts in such things as transportation, for example. You talk about putting the economy in even worse shape than it is. When you start talking about those kinds of cuts, it would, well, who knows what would happen. These numbers are totally unrealistic. But we have to go through this operation of letting everybody get on the record and saying, you know, we voted to cut spending. And the other part is, you know, House members don't like Senate members very well anyway. Yeah. They would love to pass legislation, send it over to the Senate, and then put the senators in a bind with the folks back home. They just love that sort of thing.
Yeah. Let's see what the American people think. All right, Bob, thank you very much. Good to talk with you this morning. Bob Schieffer.